이예미한테 이러실 수는 없는 겁니다, 주상. 그 모든 것이 다 주상을 위해 한 일이란 말입니다.
There are different portrayals of motherhood in the historical K-drama under the Queen's umbrella that could be typical of the then Joseon dynasty, but definitely not far off the parental styles of the modern century. There's the Queen Dowager, who did everything to get her son on the throne and now fights against those deep dark secrets from coming out. There's the consorts and concubines, who are each using their own political connections to get their sons in the prime position of crown prince. And then there's the Queen, who, against the risk of losing her and her sons' positions and lives, she supports and guides them to be true to themselves, take on new responsibilities, and nurtures them to their own greatness. Throughout the series, we get to look at the Joseon era traditional education that the 12 princes of the king are put through. Some of the princes are more interested in food and eating, while others are interested in exploring the real world and experiments, much to the queen's dismay. While the consorts and concubines put in place a strict schedule and take a hands-on approach to their son's education, Queen Haryong initially follows suit, opting for a homeschool version, but only after the realization of how unhappy her 4 remaining sons were, she lets go of control and unofficially allows for them to decide on their own about the competition. The complete opposite can be said for Consort Go, who, like the other consorts, puts her desires over her son's own good. When her son comes back to the palace feeling defeated, robbed, hungry, and finds shelter with the queen, Consort Go's words to her son visibly hurt the queen, reflecting the total disappointment she, as his mother, has for her son and shuns him. Consort Go and her son ultimately repair their mother and son relationship, but only with the help from the queen. What the queen instills to her son is the love of family. Her sons seem to have a good relationship and loyalty with their other half siblings, even with the rivalry forced by their mothers. The queen, who is ultimately mother to all, she decides to accept the choices of all the children under her to make, even though she may not agree with them. She instills values, personal growth, and support, ultimately empowering them to make informed choices about their futures and their own lives. Even when she becomes a sort of advisor to her second son, when he becomes crown prince, she openly discusses the harsh realities of the palace, careful to counsel him on his role and not to control him. Throughout the series, we see the Queen Dowager fight to remove the queen and her sons, her grandchildren, from the line of succession. Her bitterness and rivalry for power and control of her son the king with her daughter-in-law blinds her to the damage that she is causing to the legacy that she holds dear. In the final episode, we see the Queen Dowager failing to rein in her son the king from the secrets that she had poisoned the previous crown princes to make way for her son to be the crown prince. Unlike his mother, the king finally sees the role his mother had played and is willing to right the wrongs of his misguidedness, even if it meant putting at risk the legitimacy of his position as king. Under the Queen's umbrella shows the precarious position of female members of royalty as wives, mothers, and grandmothers. Even in the most powerful position, there was no real power. And so, however much the mothers try to protect their children, the best lesson is to empower them to one day survive by themselves.